Hey everyone, Pan Bam Richard here, and welcome to my Kirby Robobot discussion video, and I'm joined here by mchaosg, also known as Tucker, from the Puyo Nexus.
Hello.
Yo, and we are going to be talking about some Kirby Planet Robobot, because that game is a recent Kirby game, it came out, I made sure to 100% it as soon as possible, and I am a huge Kirby fan, and Tucker played a lot of this game as well, so we've got a lot of things to talk about, so... before we
basically begged Richard to do this.
No man. I'm pretty sure I asked you first if we could do this discussion and whatnot.
It was after, because I was like, Richard, I have to know your thoughts.
Alright, well, so we're now going to share our thoughts with everybody else about Kirby Planet Robobot. Before we proceed, just want to let you guys know, spoiler warning, if you are planning on playing Kirby Planet Robobot and don't want to be spoiled, this is your warning now, so be sure to click away. There'll be something in the description to give you a non-spoiler version of our thoughts and whatnot. But, right, so Kirby Planet Robobot just came out a couple days ago. Essentially, the plot is all about this machine known as the Access Art just taking over Popstar for its resources, and Kirby, being the good-willed soldier that he is of Popstar,
the only capable one.
Exactly. Well, I mean, you know, there's Meta Knight and King DDD, I guess. They kind of help. But...
No?
Hey. Well, what about... Well, okay, fine. King DDD got captured last time, but he ended up helping out in the end of Triple Deluxe, but...
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah, Kirby is the only sole guy to defeat this threat, and, I mean, the plot is generic, like every other Kirby game. Do you really want to play for plot? Not really, but I mean,
I would say this one's even more scarce because you don't get any plot until like Chapter 3 or Area 3.
Yeah, that's when you start to learn about Susie and I forgot the name of the freaking company already, like the
Haltman Works company.
Yeah, Haltman Works, and essentially, it's like your usual nature versus technology sort of story, where technology is trying to take over the good nature of what it provides naturally and whatnot. But I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's a generic plot, but at the end of the game, when you start to like read the descriptions of certain bosses and certain modes and whatnot, you start to sort of unfold what hidden stories and loose plot holes there are within the enemy side of things, and I felt like this game, Planet Robobot, definitely fleshed that out a lot better compared to other Kirby games in the past.
Absolutely. Like, I don't know, like, did you get the impression that the Haltman Works company has any relation to the Halcandrians?
No, not at all. I felt that they were just an entirely different entity, separate from the inhabitants from that Wii game, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like HAL just loves to insert their name into everything. So well, I'm like, is it any relationship? I don't know. Because I guess in Return to Dreamland, what's his name? The main villain, Magolor?
Yeah.
Oops, spoilers. He's a villain. Magolor basically is like, the Halcandrians gave the power to rise to clockwork stars or something like that. And that's basically implying Nova, which, spoiler alert, the final boss for this game is basically a galactic Nova.
Yeah.
Or a recreation of it, at least.
Yeah, when they brought the intergalactic Nova back, they did a good job, like, trying to, like, hide it at first, like, when you were going to encounter it, because in the final battle, you essentially... Holy crap, like, that was an amazing climax, gotta say, Planet Robobot.
I love it. That's the highlight.
Yeah, I remembered, because, like, essentially, like every other Kirby game, you do end up with a shooter mode, and they did tease it before by just giving you this jet Robobot mode, where Kirby goes on a jet and you do the shooter sections, and... Oh, yeah. And when I was thinking, okay, so, I guess I'm gonna have to go into jet mode. No, guess what?
You know what?
You get to control the entire halberd, and it's like, what? I was like, my mind was completely blown when you can actually control the halberd in a shooting section to defeat the boss that would later be known as, like, a separate version of the Intergalactic Nova.
Yeah. Actually, it's funny you mentioned that, because I didn't really put the two and two together, like, this shooter section is probably going to be the final boss. But they were kind of easing into it, because, like, one of the last stages, you're basically just shooter mode, killing all the, like, small enemies. Well, not small enemies, like mini-bosses and stuff.
Yeah.
Like they did that in Triple Deluxe and Return to Dreamland too, but still.
Yeah, they made that like a bit of a running theme now since Return to Dreamland, where they give you the one stage where you get to beat up all the mini bosses with Kirby's exclusive power up to the game, and it's unbelievably satisfying. But yeah, they did a nice slow build into Kirby's Robobot gaining control of the entire halberd to fight the Intergalactic Nova. And again, when they were presenting the Intergalactic Nova, I felt they did a very good job hiding that, because this version of Intergalactic Nova is completely white. And I mean, Tucker, you brought this up before to me before. You're just wondering, when did I notice that it was the Intergalactic Nova that was fighting in the final boss fight? And yeah, I had no idea until the barricade was completely removed and you get to see his face. I'm like, holy crap, what's Nova doing here? I was like, oh wait, 20 years of Kirby Superstar, right, I gotcha.
Well, like the first real hint is when the what's the dream thingy majigger? What's Haltman's robot called?
Yeah, I already forgot. Dream Star? I don't know. Anyway.
But when it first like connects to the Axis arc, it resembles a pocket watch. So that was like your first tease. And then when you break off the first faceplate, you can see a shooting star, which is like Nova's signature little facial decal.
Yeah.
And then as you keep breaking more pieces, you see the cat mouth and the eyes. But when it's all broken off, then all hell lets loose.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing to bring up with Kirby. I gotta say, when it comes to Nintendo and with Kirby, they've been very faithful to its lore. I gotta say, if you're not like a Mario fan or a Zelda fan, then Kirby's probably the next best thing, and I'm glad that I've attached with a series that Nintendo still cares about, and essentially still continues to give a lot of shoutouts to previous games, and especially considering that this year is the 20th anniversary of Kirby Superstar. I was very happy to see that they gave an homage to one of the modes in that game, being Milky Way Wishes with the Intergalactic Nova. So
when I asked you the other day I was like, what's your favorite Kirby game? And you're like, oh, Superstar. I was like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, yes, it's gonna happen.
Oh man, yeah, there's a lot to say about that, but I mean, I like going back to the whole plot thing. I do like the hidden meanings behind the story that you learn about from the future bosses and whatnot in the true arena. Like if you do the rematches, if you hit the pause screen, you do get a little bit of backstory and lore behind why the Haltman company was working towards getting the Star Dream. That's what it's called, the Star Dream, to complete its wish. Because
he was trying to resurrect his daughter, right?
Yeah, exactly. He was trying to resurrect his daughter, and that's I really like that, because like if you want to like dig deep into learning more about the Kirby lore, then you are given that option to do that by hitting the pause screen, and you wouldn't even think about doing that unless you were into Kirby games in the first place. So I like how they kept that option open for players, and for those who like just want to play through the game, they're like, oh man, this evil boss is just like a generic evil boss. But for those who want to learn more, they have that option there, and Nintendo, the people who worked on this game, executed that very well by teaching us of the backstories behind why Haltman is why he is, because he wanted to resurrect his dead daughter known as Susanna something.
Oh yeah, it is Susanna.
Yeah.
Alright, no, it's interesting. Because when the game was first leaked, I don't know if you're okay with me talking about this, I played through the game when it got first leaked though.
Right.
And there was a lot of like early discussions. They were like, oh, he's trying to resurrect Susie, but Susie's right next to him the whole time, so he's just an idiot. And I was like, that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, that's the one thing that sort of like is a little bit of a loose end, but I think it's because, yeah, I guess they want to like open that up to interpretation at that point, because I feel like that's the one loose end that they could have solidified a bit better, but
yeah, that bugged me.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only one problem with this entire backstory, that one missing loose end. But I think because they're bringing Susie back for another Kirby game, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, because she kind of just flies away at the end.
Yeah, there are a lot of people who are like speculating that Susie is going to come back into another Kirby game, and you might see a bit more of her story fleshed out. I mean, we'll see what happens due to the results of this game. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, I feel like this game's plot is probably the better when fleshed out amongst the three in the modern trilogy. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, I feel like this game is definitely one to look out for in terms of story, and it's kind of cool to see where it'll go from here on out.
It's a very nice treat. It's actually really dark, especially given like Kirby standards, which are, typically known to be dark near the end, but I would say this one's especially.
Yeah, the whole idea, like, you think, like, again, it comes with the whole, like, a parental fear and just wanting to, like, bring back, like a father trying to bring back his daughter through any means necessary. And we'll get into this later, but the True Arena, it definitely executes that in terms of gameplay, like gameplay story integration, if you listen carefully to beating the final boss there. And I felt, yeah, they did a... Actually, you know what? We'll just talk about it now. I mean, the True Arena, I gotta say, the True Arena, it's... this is probably the most brutal True Arena in the entire series, hands down. And you have to go through 4 segments of the final boss this time instead of a usual 3. And the 4th segment is a huge shout out to Kirby Superstar through Milky Way Wishes. And you have to defeat the barricades of Galactic Nova the same way as you did before on the ship in Superstar, but instead without the ship. And every single time you kill a barricade, actually before then, you hear that this Star Dream, the final boss, is 99.99% completely sentient, but there's still 0.1% of Haltman's mind being completely merged within the Galactic Nova. And then when you kill each barricade, you actually hear like Haltman's screams from the previous boss fight you had with him, and they're like completely distorted and whatnot. And there's a sequence when you destroy all the barricades at once, they come together, and then you'll hear his scream once more, and they break out. When you pause the game, once you fight the heart itself, you'll see that Haltman's like mind has been completely removed from the system, and that's when you know that.
Holy crap!
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Like,
I actually didn't catch that.
It's an insane like attention to detail that, again, you wouldn't really like learn much about until like you actually were to dig deep into reading the pause screens and whatnot, because that's, again, brilliant execution on Nintendo's part with that story. And ultimately, again, like, it has definitely improved compared to previous Kirby games in the past.
Yeah. Well, like, Haltman's basically deranged once you fight him early on, too. Like, he's maniacally laughing the whole fight.
Yeah, but then when it comes to that part where it's like, when you're breaking it down, you actually read a thought bubble saying that maybe I should not have like activated this machine to bring her back. Like, you actually see in the pause screen that he's actually regretting his decisions as well. But he was pretty maniacal back then, before that decision. But
poor Haltman.
Yeah, poor Haltman.
But not really, since he's kind of a jerk.
Well, I mean, see that's the thing. It's like, I hate him, but this happened. But I still want to hate him. But again, like, to think you'd have this kind of discussion in a Kirby game of all things is like... Exactly.
It's a good balance of, like, it pulls at your emotions.
Yeah, it does a very good job of doing that. I mean, yeah, so that's like... Yeah, that's a plot. It's a very good one in this Kirby game here. Gameplay-wise, though, I don't know, was there anything else you want to add within the story or whatnot, or...?
No, I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if it's that relevant, but when you play, is it Meta Nightmare Returns?
Right.
You get to fight 2 special bosses.
Yes.
You get to fight a clone of Dark Matter and then a clone of Sectonia. Is that her name?
Yeah, Sectonia, Queen Sectonia.
So, I don't know. It's just interesting to point out that they're also playing with clones, in a sense.
Yeah, it kind of reflects back to how Meta Nightmare Ultra played out in Kirby Superstar Ultra. Because there are some nice parallels between the two, where Meta Knight in that game, in Superstar Ultra on the DS, when he went to the Galactic Nova that game, he wished to fight the strongest galaxy in the universe, and thus we got the debut
ended up
of
Galactica Knight.
Exactly, Galacta Knight. And when it came to this game, it felt like a nice little homage to Superstar Ultra, again, like 20th anniversary or whatever. But instead, bringing 2 fights back, I was pleasantly surprised they brought Dark Matter back.
Me too, because he's my favorite.
Yeah, I was like thinking, alright, so First Swordsman, I wonder, like, are they going to show Galacta Knight early? And then they bring up Dark Matter with his music and whatnot from Dreamland 2. I'm like, wow, Fantastic.
Well, they also had Dark Castle earlier too in the game.
Dark Castle.
Axis Arc. Wait, no, was it Axis Arc? Stage 5. One of the you know, like how every world has like the pillar that you have to like, it's crap. It's like a screw basically.
Yeah.
Each world has one of those, and I think in the 5th world, the music that plays in that one is Dark Castle from Dreamland 2.
Oh, okay. I think I remember like recognizing the song, but I couldn't like pinpoint which Kirby game. But yeah, that's yeah, they're very good with their music homages in the Kirby series too.
Well, I only mention it because that's leading up to Dark Matter in that game.
Yeah, Dark Matter, very nice callback and very nice return, because we haven't really seen much of the Dark Matter trilogy, I like to call it, until like recently, where they just brought him back as a major role. So it's cool, and I hope that might be a means for the future. Hopefully, we'll see what happens.
I would like that.
Yeah,
I just like his design. I mean, it's totally simple, but the whole Dark Matter concept's really cool. And like Gooey's a Dark Matter too.
Oh,
they should bring back Gooey.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, if we need an eventual 5th player,
yeah,
get that Gooey in. Why not? Yeah. I mean, yeah. Meta Knight Ultra was a very good means of bringing those two back. Queen Sectonia coming back was a nice means of. You know, a callback to a recent game. So for those who are familiar with the previous game, be like, oh my gosh, they get their own little nostalgia.
Yeah.
That not us old fogies, you know.
Well, if I remember correctly too, her fight is like totally different from Triple Deluxe as well.
It kinda is, yeah. I think it's because like they didn't bring like that other plane where they have to find the diamond. They just had to shorten it to make it more Meta Knight friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like, yeah, it was cool that they brought those two bosses back, and of course, Galactonite being the complete badass.
Wait, because I remember this. It's also weird because when Sectonia dies, she briefly turns into Tyranza.
Yeah, I thought that was weird too, and then I was looking it up, and apparently, like, I can't confirm the sources of what I read and whatnot, but apparently, there was, according to the director, there was a bit of story left behind for Triple Deluxe, where apparently that was what Queen Sectonia looked like before being influenced by the crown.
Oh, that's rad.
I know, right? It's like, huh? Like, it's unfortunate that they had to like leave that out, but that was what they were referencing to. But again, it felt really weird at first seeing that.
Yeah, I was totally confused because like she did not care for Tyranza at all. She basically killed him or her. I don't know what Tyranza is.
Yeah, I don't know either actually. But yeah, that's the whole story behind Sectonia. But finally, they bring back Galactonite, being the eternal rival to Meta Knight. Theme still as like great as ever.
Oh god, yeah, it's great in that version too. Like they tweaked it slightly. It's just good. I can't really describe it.
It sounds more MIDI-ish, I guess. They use more synthesizers in the mix because I guess they felt that. Going with the hard electric guitars again. Maybe a bit too like repetitive.
To me, it's like all right. Return to Dreamland's version was like the Pokemon Black and White 1 version, and then not Triple Deluxe. Planet Robobot's version is basically Black and White 2's version, because I don't know, like that musical style is what it's influenced by, in my opinion.
I still haven't played Black and White 2. I should probably get on that.
Oh, it's so much better than the first one.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I keep hearing about, like, you know, like, it fleshes out backstory for a lot of the gym leaders, but...
It does.
Alright, so, I guess I'm gonna add that to my backlog, but... yeah, I mean, it was nice to see Galactonite return. It was okay that he wasn't in the previous game, because Dark Meta Knight, was okay to fill in his role, because 10th anniversary...
That was totally cool.
Yeah, that was like really good, especially when they brought back his music too. But yeah, it was cool to see Galactonite come back, and he wasn't a clone. He was actually Galactonite brought back from the dimension, and the first thing he does is like, "How dare you like wake me up from my sleep and just like kill Starscream?" Like, come on, man. But you know, like he's really pissed now, like compared to like back then where it's like more so dormant. When he realized that he was fighting Meta Knight, he wanted his revenge straight up, and it was like, wow, they've totally made an intriguing character with Galactonite, and I very much welcome his addition each and every time.
I mean, it's cool. Like, I thought it was a little soon because they did it in Return to Dreamland, but the way they presented it in this game made it like all the better.
Yeah, like again, he's his actions speak louder than his words, which are none. But I mean, with that said, though, like I mean, you could tell like he considers Meta Knight like a formidable rival now, and I kind of want to see, because I don't count the True Arena encounters with Kirby and Galactonite to be canon. I kind of want to see that eventual clash between Kirby and Galactonite, and to see to see exactly how their circumstances will cross paths. But yeah, so I mean, I think that's pretty much a lot to cover with the plot and whatnot. Again,
yeah,
I've
exhausted it.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Again, like we said, this game does a lot in terms of plot compared to other Kirby games. Again, it may seem generic at first, but when you like dig a deep more into the lore and whatnot, then you'll start to like appreciate it a bit more for what it is.
Yeah.
So falling forth into the gameplay, gameplay is practically the same like Triple Deluxe.
Yeah, it's almost identical. Sans for, the Robobot armor.
Yeah, the Robobot is what replaces the Hypernova. Apparently, according to an interview, they did want this to be a direct sequel to Triple Deluxe. I mean, it still is, but they want that to be the same in gameplay as well. But then they realized that having the Hypernova back would make it a bit repetitive, so they did it fresh with the Robobot. Boat, whatever.
Alright, so as a gimmick, I hate saying the word gimmick, but as a gimmick, I don't think Hypernova or the Ultra power-ups in Return to Dreamland, for that matter, were that good. Like, they didn't merge to the gameplay as well as the Robobot armor does. Like, you can platform with Robobot armor, you can change different abilities, but in Return to Dreamland and Triple Deluxe, you're kind of stuck with that one power, and your puzzles are kind of fixed around that.
Yeah.
I would just say, like, Robobot offers a lot of variety in that sense.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I mean, I was thinking about this before too, like comparing between the three games. I felt like they were able to get away with it with Kirby Return to Dreamland because it was the first console game in 10 years.
Yeah.
So seeing like our favorite abilities upgraded further, like that was already enough for us Kirby fans. It didn't really like contribute much within the gameplay, but it did enough to like satisfy our hearts for like not playing a console game for 10 years.
It helps too, though. Like in Return to Dreamland, it's fine single player, but when you're playing with friends, also the only thing they can do is just wait.
Yeah.
Like when I played with my friends, they just didn't like the Ultra abilities because I was like, okay, I have to attack now, and you guys just have to wait the whole time.
That reminds me of another series, but let's get away from that topic. But yeah, I mean, I could definitely see the multiplayer not being that accessible due to the Ultra abilities. And when they sort of brought it back with Triple Deluxe, it was kind of cool how they had like certain puzzles like revolving around one Ultra ability as opposed to like one single one for each Ultra ability in Return to Dreamland. But it still felt like it's sort of, I guess for lack of a better term, kind of like a pace breaker, I guess.
Yeah, that's how I would put it too.
Yeah, I mean, like it was cool, like back in Return to Dreamland, but it was just sort of like going through checkpoints, I guess, in Triple Deluxe. It didn't feel like it meshed well.
No, I'm not totally a fan of how like you have to lose an ability, then you gain this ability, and then when you enter that other dimension in Return to Dreamland, after like you have to like clear all the blocks and then a black star appears and you go into the other dimension.
Yeah.
Like you lose your ability every time you do that. So I was happy to see in this game, Robobot, that you get to keep your ability when you enter the Robobot armor. Like that was a fix I felt was necessary.
I guess. Actually, I might be a bit of the crowd who might have enjoyed like the losing the power thing, only because like you have to rely on Kirby's natural abilities to get through an obstacle course.
No, I love those areas. Those areas are the like highlight of the game. I wasn't saying that. Okay. Like that's totally okay, but I don't like the fact that you have to lose your ability, especially if you have one like hammer, where losing it is pretty bad.
Yeah. Well, I guess at the same time too, it also like trains you to try out different abilities as well. Maybe like
Yeah,
a means to sort of design that better. At the end, they probably should have gave you back your original ability. I guess that probably
yeah.
could fix it up more. But um,
I think Triple Deluxe does that too. Actually, I think it lets you keep your power up
yeah,
after the supernova.
they did that with Supernova and with their circus theme levels, where like they put you through like a bit of a door that makes you lose your ability. But then when you go through the
Hmm.
door again, they create a copy essence of the ability that you went in with. So that was they realized the issue from Returns to Dreamland. That's for sure.
I guess the point I'm making is Robobot just does it better.
Yeah, it's like a long-winded way of saying that Robobot's gimmick, gimmick for the game was definitely well implemented. They're like this Kirby game has the most abilities in the modern trilogy, and
Really?
yeah,
Oh yeah, I guess counting the Robobot armor. Yeah.
yeah, there are 27 regular abilities and 13 Robobot modes. So there were a lot of abilities to sink your teeth in, and I felt like Robobot, Robobot implemented Kirby's design overall and added more to it. So I felt like
Yeah.
Robobot. I'm gonna like go left and right.
It's okay.
Yeah. But Robobot essentially is the best implemented of the three.
I was kind of touching on this earlier, but like the Robobot armor also allows you to like platform and explore too, which I feel like you couldn't do that in the other two. Like Supernova kind of lets you walk around, if I remember correctly, but you're kind of just at a standstill the whole time. But with the Robobot armor, you can explore the level, you can get out of the armor when it lets you, and then progress further with normal Kirby.
Well,
Um,
I mean, like, sorry to interrupt, but I mean, like, you can't,
no, it's fine.
like, unfortunately, you can't really willingly get out of the Robobot body.
No.
You have to, like, go into one of those bases.
Yeah,
But it does all that you mentioned. Like, it still platforms like Kirby can. It still can copy abilities like Kirby can, and you could use those abilities to clear out certain obstacles. Like,
it's just an extension of Kirby's abilities. That's a better way to put it.
yeah, and yeah, the Robobot is probably the best means to implement the gimmick with Kirby. The best execution of maintaining Kirby's abilities while further extending what he can do.
Yes. That's elegantly put.
Well, thanks. But yeah, like this game has the most abilities within the modern era. I was kind of sad personally that they got rid of Wing. Like that's my favorite power up in the entire series. But you know, I could accept it because like it's going into a more mechanical route and whatnot. And
They went with Jet.
yeah, they went with Jet. They went with Mirror returns, which is cool.
Yeah, that was super cool.
Yeah. And they also brought back UFO. UFO is only accessible through the amiibo or 100% completion. So
Yeah.
that was cool. And they also brought back Smash Kirby from the Amazing Mirror. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, that was a nice comeback for that ability. The most well-rounded one Kirby has.
They also updated his moveset to be in line with the most recent Smash game too.
They kind of did. I mean, it was interesting because in Kirby's Dream Collection, they had special challenges in that game, and they brought back the Smash ability only for that game.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. They
I've
did.
actually never played Dream Collection, so
It's actually a solid collection, much better than what Mario got in his anniversary, but that's a whole different discussion altogether. But
it's just a ROM on a Wii disc.
it's just a damn ROM with like a freaking collector's book. That's it. Kirby did that and then some. But anyway, yeah, Smash Kirby. They did maintain the moveset that he had in Dream Collection, except for
Oh, okay.
yeah, except for adding the throw. Yeah, the throw that he could do. They basically slapped Ninja's throw ability into Smash Kirby's moveset, which is kind of like what he does when he jumps up in the air and like pile drives the enemy down.
Right.
And when he blocks, you actually see the little smash.
Oh,
bubble
Smash
around him,
Shield.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they did a good job with bringing Smash back. The new abilities we have Doctor, ESP, and Poison.
Yes. What's
think-
your favorite, Richard?
But pre playing Robobot, I really wanted to like Doctor,
Yeah.
but then when I got to it, it was very underwhelming.
I think that's the general consensus on Doctor.
Yeah, like I get the gimmick where it's like there's that one puzzle for the cube where it's like you could change to 3 different elements, and
Yeah.
that was cool. But they only did it for that one puzzle, and I felt like that could have been used more. But yeah, Doctor was the most underwhelming. I think utility wise, Poison gets the A+ badge from me because
That's mine. That's my favorite too.
yeah, it is unbelievably versatile. I mean, they practically took water from Return to Dreamland and
Yes.
and made
It even better.
yeah, exactly.
Because I love water in Return to Dreamland too.
Yeah, water was a decent ability in Return to Dreamland, but then what they did with Poison is that they took water's capabilities and made hazards essentially. Like you could place traps on the ground or in the air, and it really does lead to some intriguing strategies that you could do with boss fights. And I felt
Oh god. You
yeah,
can just basically wreck all bosses because they just stand there most of the time anyways. I mean, not to say they're not hard. They are pretty hard, but most of them are pretty idle, and Poison just wrecks them all.
yeah, and it's fun to like do arena runs with Poison because you get to do a lot of experimentations. Like, what if I place this trap here, or what if I do a slide across here and leave some poison traps on the ground. I feel like Poison is probably the best out of the 3 that debuted in this game.
Yeah.
I mean, ESP is kind of cool, but I felt like they should have done more. If they're trying to make like an
I feel like it doesn't have enough going for it. Like, basically all you can do is whatever it's called, PK Flash. It's basically PK Flash, and then teleport. And I guess you also can like block enemies, and if you frame perfect block, well, probably not frame perfect, but if you block an enemy as it's attacking you, you like disappear and then reappear and attack. And that's kind of cool, but I don't know. They could have added a lot more.
Yeah, if you're frame perfect blocking in a Kirby game, then you probably shouldn't be playing a Kirby game. I mean, if you're really going for that, you should probably just stick with Hammer and go reckless, I guess. But yeah,
I mean, it does a lot of damage, and the Robobot armor version of it's pretty cool too.
I wasn't really a fan of the Robobot version of that too, because I felt like it limited.
You only can attack upwards, basically.
Yeah. If I were to describe ESP, it would be like the Hyper Beam ability back in Return to Dreamland, except
a
lot more faster, and obviously as a regular ability. So I mean, I didn't really feel much about that ability either in Return to Dreamland. So it was again another disappointment, I guess.
Yeah. You get a cool hat though, and it's not Ness's hat, but they're like, it's Ness's hat, kind of.
We're totally gonna push it like that, even though it's not. Like, they went all out with like Link's hat for Kirby. Why didn't they do that with Ness? It's like it was right there.
Well, hold on there, okay? Kirby's hat has a ball at the end of it. Link's doesn't.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess you got me there.
No, it's fine.
No, but I mean, it's like because like with that hat though, he kind of seems like he's Yo-Yo Kirby. It's like you think.
I would have loved to see Yo-Yo return.
Oh man, that's an ability that needs to come back because that's such a versatile ability. But yeah, like because of that, it's like when you get ESP, it's like, oh cool, I get to use a yo-yo. Oh wait a second. Wait a second. It's like playing. I feel like yo-yo was supposed to be an ability until they decided, wait, let's just make it a Ness cameo. Are we gonna change the hat? No, that'd be too much work.
I could argue Yo-Yo Kirby's a Ness cameo.
Yeah, that's also true. Crap. Well, no. Here's the thing, though. Why can't they make like a why can't they just name him plain Ness ability?
Ness Kirby.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. Merge Yo-Yo and ESP. That would be a great ability.
That's gonna be amiibo only, and you know it.
Oh well, I'll buy it. I have Ness and Lucas anyways.
Oh damn! I still need to get that. But yeah, I mean, that's it with the new abilities. There's a lot that return. There's some that don't return, like
Tornado.
Well,
Sorely missed.
yeah. Well, I felt like Tornado is very much that easy boss killer ability, but at the same time, it makes. Yeah, I think that's the only reason why people like it, because it just makes Kirby games a lot more simpler.
No, it's also really fast.
I guess.
You move faster with Tornado. It's one of my favorites.
Fair enough.
But I will admit, it's pretty overpowered for bosses.
Yeah, it's very OP. Like, I remember back then, you would either choose Tornado or Hammer for boss rushes. At least, yeah, at least with Hammer, you can, there is some placement and positioning that you need to worry about. With Tornado, you just gotta, like, spam B and, like, put yourself away thereafter.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it would be nice to see that back. Spear, they removed Spear, which is a bit of a surprise on my part.
Yeah, because they had Waddle Dee, or Bandana Waddle Dee as an amiibo. I was like, oh, he'll give you Spear ability.
But no, he just gives Parasol, which I guess is more so a shout out to Kirby Superstar.
Yeah.
Even though Bandana Dee never wielded a Parasol.
No, he didn't.
Well, that's the next best thing. They got rid of Bell, which I didn't really mind.
Yeah, I didn't care too much for Bell either.
Beetle, though.
Beetle was cool.
Yeah, I felt like Beetle was a much better sword, personally.
Yeah.
Because, like, you could also do, like, close range melee throws and the like, and that would do, like, throw damage on bosses, so I felt like that was a bit of a loss, but, otherwise, a lot of your favorites were... Oh, they got rid of Needle, too.
Oh my god, they did! I like Needle a lot.
Yeah,
I'm looking at a list right now.
I made sure to, like, do a chart, like, last night, but, Needle had a very good return in Return to Dreamland, no pun intended, but,
yeah, it was awesome in that game.
Yeah, like, I remember Needle being, like, a completely obsolete and terrible power-up that they just kept bringing back just for the sake of bringing it back, like in the GBA trilogy. Yeah. And then when they brought it back to Returns to Dreamland, they definitely gave it a lot of good buffs, that well-needed buffs to just to mention. And then they realized that was too strong in Triple Deluxe and nerfed it a bit.
Yeah, they got rid of like the dash B attack where you like roll on a ball. I think they got rid of that in Triple Deluxe.
I would like to say they got sued by Sonic.
No, because then they brought back Wheel.
Okay, fine. Well, there goes that theory. But but yeah, like I felt like that was an unnecessary nerf for a Needle in Triple Deluxe. Like, it needed that to be a very viable ability, and then it just like ruined its viability when they nerfed that in Triple Deluxe, and now they just completely got rid of it. So rest in peace, Needle, I guess.
I will miss you. See you next game, probably.
Hopefully. I mean, NX, probably. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, yeah, this Kirby game, they definitely went all out with the abilities, even though they removed some favorites and whatnot, and I felt like they did this is probably a very good representation of what Kirby can do, not only on his own, but with the power of the mech as well.
Yep, I would agree with that. Totally.
I think, like, my... there were a lot of crazy Robobot modes, but I think my favorite would have to be Mike.
Mine is Mike too. It's just so overpowered, and like the attack where you press down and up real quick, and you shoot out a giant music note that breaks into smaller music notes. Oh, it's so satisfying.
Yeah, it's a very nice like spread to cover ground and whatnot, and my favorite part about that Mike ability is that whenever you when you're repeatedly pressing B, it will play the first couple measures of Kirby's regular theme as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a nice little attention to detail that he did with that as well, but...
My second place choice, though, would definitely be Cutter. I love the Cutter Robobot armor.
Yeah, Cutter is pretty sick. It's like, you feel like you're some kind of like a lumberjack just going through like a forest or whatnot, just like murdering everything in sight.
I just like to hold the attack button and just walk with the blade out. It's just so much fun.
You know what they should have done, though? They should have made... I forgot to mention this, but they did a golden drill driver at the end of the game. Where,
oh, yeah!
Yeah, they should have made that an ability. Like, man.
What would they give it to though?
Like that should have been what Spear should have been. Like I guess they.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I guess they probably just like removed Spear just for the fact that, hey, look, we're gonna do a nice shout out to a Gurren Lagann and freaking do a Giga drill breaker right at the end.
To be honest, it was kind of out of place. They were just like, all of a sudden, guess what? The Robobot armor, its arm can turn into a drill, but.
No, man, I would attribute that to Rule of Cool right there at that point. Like, I mean, like, you know...
No, it was totally awesome. I am not bagging on
it. Yeah, logic aside, I felt like they just wanted to do the call, the shout-outs to Gurren Lagann, because I think, like, everybody, when they realized that... Well, actually, no, because the weird thing is, this game was announced in March of 2016.
Yeah, it was like, out of the blue, too.
And then its release window was completely close to when it was announced too, and it's like, I don't know, like why they decide to market it that way, but it certainly got everybody's attention.
I thought it was a super nice surprise.
Yeah,
it made that Nintendo Direct a million times better. I was like, oh cool, all right, not totally disappointed.
Well, I mean, Nintendo Directs. Anyway, but yeah, like, yeah, they should have made that an ability. Maybe we'll see that in the future, because I would like to see the Robobot come back into future Kirby games, or something similar to it, because that one is probably
that's what puzzles me. Like, what are they going to do moving forward? It's going to be another, like, Kirby 64 instance where they're like, we want to merge abilities, why aren't you letting us do this?
I see, because, like, you probably may have noticed as you've been watching by now, we've been mentioning trilogies, and if you've been a fan of the Kirby series, or if you've been noticing their releases and whatnot, you might have noticed that there's like a different like style for certain amount of games. Like, for example, Kirby Dreamland 2, Kirby Dreamland 3, and Kirby 64.
And then 64. Yeah, Dreamland 3 and 64 are basically the same story. It's like literally the same.
Might be why I don't really like Dreamland 3 that much, but
what? It's got amazing multiplayer.
Well, I mean, no, Superstar is definitely better than Dreamland 3 in terms of multiplayer.
Well, absolutely. Well, yeah, yes and no. We can talk about this another time, Richard.
Fair enough. But Dreamland 2, Dreamland 3, and Kirby 64, they're the that's
I
the
can see the trilogy.
Yeah,
the Dark Matter trilogy. Okay.
Yeah, Dark Matter trilogy. Then we got the GBA trilogy, which is Nightmare in Dreamland, Amazing Mirror, and Squeak Squad.
Which isn't a GBA game, but they're all in the same vein. I think they're all by the same developer, except the first one. I think that was all HAL.
Yeah,
I think the developer for the other ones were Dimps. Not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure it was Dimps. I'm looking right now. Okay.
I could have sworn there was like something known as Flagship as well.
Flagship and Dimps.
Oh, cool. All right, that solves that mystery. So that's like what I consider the GBA trilogy. And then thereafter we have, I guess currently the modern trilogy, which is, well, air quotes trilogy. We don't know if they're going to continue with the style thereafter, but we have Return to Dreamland, Triple Deluxe, and Planet Robobot. And you kind of wonder, where will the Kirby series go from here?
Right. Is this my turn to make a prediction?
Go for it.
I feel like they're gonna go the 3D route. Like that 3D mode they had in Triple Deluxe, I feel like that was their test of the waters.
Yeah, because they were very, very safe with the execution of that sub-game, it's kind of hard to formulate an impression about it. I mean, yeah, they got Kirby's core mechanic hands down, that's great, but...
Yeah, like, I know abilities are going to be a whole different thing in 3D, but I feel like they could work it out.
It's going to change a lot once Kirby moves into 3D, I feel.
Right.
Because it, like, when I was playing it, when I was playing that sub-game, it felt a little bit jarring to me. I was like, whoa, what is this Kirby in 3D movement? It's like, I feel like I'm in, like, the 90s again, like worrying about, like, what Mario or, like, Sonic will do in the 3D realm. And, I don't know, like, it's hard for me to, like, exactly formulate a true opinion based on that one, I guess we'll call it beta demo of Kirby in 3D. Yeah. But do you have anything else to add?
Just the fact that I mean, this isn't the first time they tried to do it, because if you remember back when they were trying to get Return to Dreamland off the ground, they had like a couple other prototypes for Kirby, and they had a 3D one, which is basically what the mode in Triple Deluxe looks like.
Yeah.
Or not Triple Deluxe, sorry, Robobot. So I don't know. I maybe they have been struggling with it for a while, and they just wanted to get something out to like prove, hey, we've been trying.
Yeah, I guess. Like, I don't know. Like, if they go full 3D, will it feel like a Kirby game anymore?
Yes.
I don't know. I guess I have a little bit of like paranoia, because like whenever like a series tries to take a risk, especially with 3D, it may not work as well with the masses, but it may be the change that Kirby may need to flourish even further. But they're doing so well so far as a series, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
I had a friend once say that like Super Mario 3D World is what Kirby could be like in 3D. Sans without power-ups. Needs power-ups.
Oh, and they also need better resolution.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a second. Actually, you know what? It might do well with the Kirby style. You know, the little, like, blurry backgrounds and, like, very, very amazing draw distance, because, you know, you gotta render that, anyway. You know, that's not a bad idea, actually.
Well, because, like, 3D World is grid-based movement. Like, if they can't get Kirby, like, completely loose 3D, then they might as well at least try to go for the middle ground.
Right. Because, like, the most of 3D that we had besides that one sub.
I know you're gonna say it.
Yeah.
I know you're gonna say it.
Yeah.
Say it.
GameCube, Kirby Air Ride.
Yeah!
And, yeah, that's a fantastic game in its own right. I really gotta get that game again, but...
That's, like, my top 5 favorite Kirby game.
Yeah,
One of them.
And it's a spin-off, too. Nice.
I know.
And when they did a 3D movement with that game, in the city trial mode, it felt somewhat natural too. I don't know. I guess I just have a fear that it may not do so well when it goes into 3D. I have no idea why.
No, I mean, I don't think Hall's ever gonna release a bad Kirby game. Like, they know what they're doing too well enough to be like, yep, we're just gonna ship this. They're smarter than that.
Yeah. So yeah. All right. Maybe I should have some more trust into Hal then, and buy Box Boy.
Yeah.
I
haven't played either, but it looks promising as a puzzle game.
I would say it's pretty decent. Box Boy is on sale right now, so if you want to give it a shot, it's a
maybe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like Triple Deluxe, or not Triple. I keep saying that. Robobot had a Quibi. Is that his name? He had a cameo as a sticker.
Yeah, QB.
Oh, QB. Ha.
I
Ha.
get it.
I missed the joke.
Q.
Well, he had two B's, so I was like, oh, it's Quibi.
But oh yeah, I guess that's another thing. This was something that I didn't like with Triple Deluxe. The whole, in order to get 100% completion, you got to collect all the keychains. And
really?
Yeah,
I actually haven't gotten that far.
Yeah, I normally try to like do 100% on all the Kirby games that I play, because I don't know, I like the series that much, and
yeah.
It felt that it was completely unnecessary for Triple Deluxe, because if you think like back in Kirby 64, you had the info cards, and those did not.
Oh, I love those.
Yeah, that was a fun. Well, when I was younger, I had a fun time collecting that, but those didn't contribute to your 100% completion.
Right.
And Triple Deluxe decided to make that a thing, and there were way too many keychains, and it was very time-consuming and boring with the relying on the RNG. But thankfully, in Robobot, they decreased it to 200, and I had no problems at all using my amiibos to speed up that process too. So
I have not 100% it, so I'm just curious. Do you need to collect all the stickers to
Yes.
100% the game? Ah.
Yeah, but I mean, they sort of made it a bit better in Robobot, because for the rare stickers, like the rare keychains back then, you had to find them in each level. And
Yeah, they have like hidden puzzles around them. I found a few of them, not all of them. I know they exist.
yeah, in Triple Deluxe, they didn't have an indication as to what levels you were missing the rare keychains from, so that was like you had to rely on a guide
that's
online.
the worst.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. Thankfully, they realized that in Robobot, and when you're looking through your sticker collection, if you have like a rare sticker you're missing, it'll just
Oh yeah,
tell
it tells you where it is, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So they they did that better in this game, and they made sure to keep the number like very small. There's 200 stickers to collect in this game, compared to the 256 in Triple Deluxe.
I have like collection OCD, so when a game is structured to where you need to collect something to get 100%, it just discourages me.
Yeah,
I hate it.
Same here. Same here. It's like
I made it through because I was like, all right, I'll at least just get all the code cubes because I can do that.
yeah, I feel like with these modern games, they're now making like the code cubes more the easier to collect collectibles, while the stickers or keychains or what have you, they're more so the
hardcore
ones. Yeah,
which is okay. I'm ambivalent to it, I guess.
I felt they executed it better in this game, and that's why I was able to 100%.
Well, hearing what you said, I would agree as well.
Yeah, it made it easier to 100% this game compared to Triple Deluxe. I mean, I did Triple Deluxe after Robobot, actually, because I was like...
Really?
Yeah, because I was like, since it's already 100% this game, I might as well do Triple Deluxe, and it was boring.
Yeah.
I was just listening to, like, a podcast, so I was just, like, playing through each and every level and, like, figuring... And then have to look up a guide to find out which rare keychains that I'm missing. And well, the rare keychains were fun, actually, not gonna lie. That felt more so like how the harder to find collectibles that they had before in Return to Dreamland was like. That was okay, but it's just relying on RNG was not really that fun.
There was collectibles in Return to Dreamland? I know you had to collect the gears.
Yeah, the energy spheres, that's what I was referring to.
Oh, I have actually 100% Return to Dreamland, but...
Yeah, so I mean...
I was gonna say, like, I don't remember there being other collectibles.
Yeah, so like, that's the main one in a Return to Dreamland.
Oh wait, I will say though, that I like keychains more as like a collectible than stickers.
Really?
Yeah, I just love sprite work. Like, the stickers, you know... It's just... it was more interesting to see them, like, bring back different sprites for different monsters than just general artwork for each thing. The unique artwork they made for Robobot, though, was really cool, though.
Yeah. There's some interesting localization choices, though, like comic book Kirby versus manga Kirby.
Oh, yeah!
It's not kind of like the same thing.
Basically.
I guess, like, one is more American style and the other one's more Japanese.
Gotta say, I love manga DDD, or DDD. Blech.
Oh,
he looks so smug.
Yeah. My favorite is the scribbles.
Wait, no, go. Yes, I was just gonna say the scribbles are A+. I put those on my Robobot armor.
Yeah, apparently the scribbles were some kind of reference to the actual anime. I don't remember.
Yeah,
which...
they had an episode where they, like, basically, I wonder. I guess it was like a budget episode where they basically just had really bad drawings for the. They were like trying to make a movie, I think.
No,
that was the deal.
Yeah. I think it was more so that, like, they were all trying to propose their movie ideas, and then King DDD... I think it was actually Kirby proposing his idea.
Yeah, his was the scribbles.
Yeah, that makes more sense now. And the cool thing is that they had added versions for, like, Bandana Waddle Dee and Magalore as well. In scribble form.
Yeah, that was interesting. They had Magalore. They had other ones, too. Can't remember.
I think they had Taranza in scribble form as well.
Yes.
Yeah, But, so yeah, the cool thing about those stickers, though, they did... I felt like I liked the stickers more because they did more. Because, like, you could actually, like, place them as decals on your Robobot, like, akin to how you would do that in F-Zero GX. So, well, I mean, not as in-depth, but more so just like, hey, look, I could put a sticker
Yeah, like,
on.
they do something. And I get that. I'm just a dork for pixels, I guess.
I gotcha.
They're like, it would... To me, it's like collecting trophies in Smash. It's the same thing.
Right, so, I guess we did cover a bit of the sub-games. There was a 3D one, we already gave our thoughts about that.
Oh, Team Kirby Clash?
Kirby Quest or something like that?
Or was it Quest? I thought it was Clash.
I think it was Quest. Because, like, they wanted to emphasize the whole RPG element of it, I'm pretty sure.
Team Kirby Clash.
Oh, Clash. Alright, never mind. I stand corrected. Yeah, Team Kirby Clash was okay.
I honestly haven't did it because I want to do it with friends.
Fair enough.
But I know there's cool bosses.
Yeah, I don't know, because it's like they they nerf each and every Kirby type, and essentially they have each and every one of them have like special moves.
Yeah.
The Sword Kirby has like a huge shield, it seems like. The Hammer one is slow but strong. The Doctor one can heal.
He's the medic.
Yeah, he's the medic. So it's like their cute attempt at the usual 4-player co-op FPSs and whatnot.
And as you level up, you get better too. Like your buffs, or you get buffed to the point where your weaknesses are slightly less of a hindrance.
Yeah, and that's the thing when it comes to this mode with me. I mean, I was able to complete it within like 30 minutes to an hour or something. So
yeah, it's short.
I mean, like every other sub game in the Kirby universe, but I just felt like intentionally nerfing me just to say that I can't beat this boss because like you're putting a handicap on me unless I play previous bosses more wasn't really that much of a grab for me overall.
Yeah, it's probably just a lot better with friends.
Yeah, in other words, I need to get friends who are actually into the Kirby series. I gotcha. So I have to afford...
I only have one, and it would be my cousin, so... I don't know.
All my friends are getting into, like, Pokemon nowadays. It's crazy.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's it with the sub-games. But, overall, I think that I like Planet Robobot the best out of the 3.
Let me think. So, Return to Dreamland had that shooter mode in the challenge rooms. Is there another one? Oh, the ninja one.
I thought you were talking about... I was talking about the game overall, but we could talk about the sub.
Oh, the game overall. I thought you were talking sub games.
Oh,
yeah.
we could continue with sub games. Actually, I want to say Return to Dreamland is fun for multiplayer and whatnot. I mean, that's what the sub games should ultimately convey with the Kirby games, because generally Kirby games are more single player experiences. But
yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, and I feel like Return to Dreamland does do a good job with the multiplayer aspect. Triple Deluxe, though, I felt like Kirby Fighters was probably the best one.
Yeah, it was basically like a shallow Smash clone, but it had cool throwbacks in it.
Oh yeah, heck yeah. I can't remember. I remember the first time I was like, you know what? I played a little bit of the main adventure. Let me like, you know, play a little bit of Kirby Fighters. Then I was like, wow, I was like geeking out over all the throwbacks that they did, like with the Coos theme, the Factory in 64, and
oh yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, I couldn't care less about the theme because I keep remixing that in every single game. But
and they did it in this one.
Yeah, I know, surprise.
I mean, it was a given, but
yeah, I know it kind of comes with the theme. But when they brought back the actual aesthetics, I was like, wow, yeah, now I'm getting the full.
That was
throwback.
super cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I guess that's another thing to bring up too. The music.
Oh yes, here we go.
They really dug deep for the X stages. If you...
the moment they played Kirby Star Stacker music, I was like, holy crap. Because I grew up with Star Stacker, and I know it's from the Super Nintendo version. It's like Kirby Kara Kids or something.
Kira Kids.
Or Kira. I gotta buy that cart. It's like $50.
Go for it, man. It's such a good game.
Yeah, but I was stoked. I was like, oh, nice! What else are they bringing back? And I think that was the only one they brought back from that game, though.
Yeah, that was the hard level run. I'm pretty sure, like the hard mode. But yeah, at first I thought it was Kira Kids remix, but then I realized that it was more so Super Nintendo-y, for lack of a better term. I'm pretty sure.
No, Kira Kids is the Super Nintendo one.
No. I mean, yeah. I mean, when I was saying the Kira Kids one, I thought the mix that they used was the Super Nintendo version, but then the mix that I'm pretty sure they used was the original Game Boy version. So yeah.
No, it's not.
hold on, because I remember when I was hearing it, I was like trying to like pinpoint like the differences between Kira Kids and the original Game Boy one, and the Game Boy one's more 8-bit, and
yeah,
I felt like that's what the remix that the song that they used in this game was from, except they just like amplified the bits a bit more.
I mean, that's possible. I to be honest, I've only played it like 5 years ago, well, more than that, probably 8 years ago on an emulator, so it could be a different mix. I don't know, but I was pretty certain it was the Super Nintendo version, or Famicom, Super Famicom.
But my biggest throwback moment was when they used the Kirby's Dream Course tutorial theme, and
Yeah, that was cool.
I was first exposed to that theme when I was 4, man. And
Yeah.
when I heard that theme used in the Kirby game, I'm like, holy sh! It was insane. I was like having huge throwbacks. I'm like, wow, they really dug deep.
See, we both had two obscure music throwbacks.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only one that sticks out in my mind right now. That was the one that threw me over the edge, and it was like the first one too.
Yeah, man, and then they used a lot of Kirby's Canvas Curse mixes.
Yes, they did, and I love that game.
Yeah, the Kirby's Canvas Curse is, oh man. I remember when I bought the DS when it came out, and the only game I had for it for the longest time was Super Mario 64 DS. And
oh my God, Richard,
we're
in the same boat right now. That's the same thing that happened to me.
And then it's like the month, like a year passes, and then I buy Yoshi's Touch and Go, and I was like, whatever, it was just kind of a tech demo. And then I bought Kirby's Canvas because I'm like, wow, this game is exactly what the DS should be, and it opened my eyes to what the DS is capable of. And I was happy with the Rainbow's Curse as well, but that's a whole nother story. But they really took a lot of tracks from Canvas Curse, and I know that some people are when they go through those X stages, they're like, they made a different remix of this game. It's like, no, it came from Canvas Curse.
No, yeah, because it's the like slightly more obscure Kirby game, but those they fit well because they kind of have like a robotic theme to them, even though the game is not robotic at all.
It was so weird too. Like I remember they were going like hardcore into tech remixes, and a lot of their remixes were from the GBA era. So it was cool that they actually brought those back, and it really fit with the aesthetics of Robobot.
Yep, totally agree.
Oh man, but yeah, I mean, Hal does a great job with Kirby, just gotta say.
Yes, I will agree. You want to talk about the actual new music though?
The new music. I felt like they were just there.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't really that. Actually,
I didn't care for the first world's music too much. Not the second world or whatever the desert stage came. That song I like a lot. And when we get to Access Arc, I was in love.
I was too enamored by the remixes to care about the original tracks, personally. But I did like the casino stages, though.
Yeah, that one was cool.
Yeah,
that one was super cool.
That's another thing that I want to bring up as well. What's it called? The aesthetics that they use in this game, much more varied compared to Triple Deluxe and Return to Dreamland.
Yeah, exactly. You would think, they would be like limited to a certain theme, but they did really well, like making every level diverse enough with that robotic themes.
Yeah, for example, ice cream.
Yeah. Well, no, I like the desert level has like forks with spaghetti on them.
Yeah.
Like what? I love that though. And then near the end of the game, there's a level where there's like soda cans with water coming out of them for waterfalls. It was just so cool looking.
And then you actually go through again, it goes through the themes of the game, but you get to go through like a CEO's business, so you get to go through like the halls that Haltman owns and whatnot, and
Haltman's halls.
Yeah, halls. Puns all around. But yeah, I mean, like they really went. They really explored the different aesthetics that they could use for Planet Robobot, which again was pretty surprising considering that you'd think they'd just stick with a mechanical theme, which they sometimes did, but it kind of balanced out with, I mean, sort of balanced out, depends on how you take it, but I mean, there were a lot of different aesthetics that sort of kept it fresh compared to previous Kirby games.
Yeah, like it's they went with a theme and they really went all out with it. Like in my mind, I was like, this is like the Mario Sunshine of Kirby. Because Mario Sunshine picked the tropical setting, and then they did everything they possibly could with it, and I thought that was just great.
There needs to be a sub-game now with Kirby gambling. Somehow, someway.
Kirby gambling is illegal in Europe.
Yeah, fair enough.
They get a new game in Europe.
They replace it with card flipping.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they did a great job with the aesthetics. Again, the soundtrack, I guess it was okay. I was just, again, more so enamored by the remixes than anything else, because again, just shoutouts to the old school games is what.
Oh wait, they also had a remix of Basil Bridge from Return to Dreamland. I love that song.
Which track was that one?
Basil Bridge is, how to explain it to you in a podcast form.
That's the one where you're climbing up the tower, right? When you're going through the tower.
In Return to Dreamland?
Yeah, yeah.
It's the one with bridges.
Okay, cool. So we'll look into that later, but
I'll link it to you, yeah.
Alright. But yeah, again, more so enamored by the remixes than the actual soundtrack itself, which wasn't bad. I did like the boss theme. I did like the final boss theme, which I guess is sort of a bit of a remix
I love
too.
that theme.
Yeah.
I guess it's the theme of Green Greens? I don't hear it.
It had a bit of a remix of like Meta Knight as well, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But man, we talked a lot about this game already.
It's good. It's a good game to talk about.
It's a very good game. Honestly, like overall, I feel that Planet Robobot is probably the best game out of the entire like modern era so far. So if like they got rid of the gyroscopes as well, which I forgot to mention. I'm glad that they did that. I mean, they did
what?
do
No,
it...
they didn't. They have some.
All right, I was gonna say they didn't do it completely, but they kept the ones that didn't suck.
Yeah, those were fine. I was okay with what they did.
Yeah, I think
I wasn't a fan of the gyroscope in Triple Deluxe.
Yeah, it's the most polished game. I feel like if you're able to introduce a newcomer to the Kirby series or something like that, introduce them to Planet Robobot. It's probably the best one so far.
I'm not gonna agree with you.
In the modern era? Alright.
Yeah, I still think Return to Dreamland is the strongest.
Alright.
But, you know, it's like, to me, like, I played through Return to Dreamland like 5 times, like 3 with friends, and then actually more than that, and casually by myself a bunch of times. I don't know. I can play that game and not get bored. Not to say I got bored with Robobot, but I just had a lot more feelings going towards Return to Dreamland.
I gotcha. But I mean, we're just being very critical about the 3 games because, you know, the series is a very good series. They're all 3 very solid games. But yeah, Return to Dreamland, Planet Robobot, you could skip Triple Deluxe.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't really remember too much about Triple Deluxe's level designs or anything.
I do like the boss theme though. The final
boss theme is
fantastic.
Awesome. Oh, actually, Triple Deluxe had the Dracia reference, and I love that too.
Oh yeah.
With Paintra. Or Paintria? I don't know.
Paintra.
Yeah. That was super cool. Actually, we could talk about bosses.
Oh yeah, I guess we could do that.
I would say Robobot had the weakest bosses, to be honest. Save for the throwback ones, like, in the main story, I would say they were pretty weak. Let's see. The first boss is Clinky Woods, which is A+. That was a great first boss.
Yeah.
And then the second boss is the what's it called? A paint roller throwback, basically. They always have one. Well, the defense API.
Yeah, I felt like that one was cool because it brought back bosses from.
Yeah, like you always got Kracko. Kracko was always gonna make his way in somehow.
Yeah.
And then they had the Doom Spheres from. Or Doomer Spheres? Is that what it is?
Sphere Doomers.
Sphere Doomers! See, I had it backwards. And then they had the Ice Dragon from Dreamland 2.
They love bringing that boss back for some reason.
Yeah, they like that one. He's cute.
Yeah.
And then they had the Coil Rattler from Triple Deluxe. Which was weird. I was just like, why is the whole scene changing? Oh, it's Coil Rattler.
He needs the 5 pillars again like he always does.
Yeah. But, I don't know. Like, I kind of thought it was a little lazy if they just straight up brought back a previous boss and didn't change anything for that whole section.
Fair enough.
Then the next boss is Susie, which is fine. I thought that was a cool boss.
Yeah.
And then what's after that? Is it D3 or is it Meta Knight?
It was the Meta Knight one, the first form of Meta Knight.
Which was fine. It was cool. D3 was cool. And then this is where it kind of... Go
regarding
ahead.
D3, I felt like it was like, we used DDD in Kirby Fighters Deluxe as the final boss. How can we reuse that again in this game?
Oh, is it the same fight?
It kind of is, because in Kirby Fighters Deluxe, you go through the stages and then you fight DDD. Like they send 32 versions of DDD at you.
What?
Like in sequence. like small versions. Yeah.
I do not remember this at all.
It was kind of cool. Like actually, like if you play in the very hard, it sends 32 at you, and then it plays like a DDD remix of 3 of its boss themes, and basically it's like in the final part, before you fight DDD on its own, they send like 3 different DDDs at you, and they sort of acted the same way as it did in Robobot, but with
and that's totally lazy.
Yeah, but the robot part was obviously completely new, and that was cool.
All right, I'm gonna take this back because I said they were not good. I meant lazy. They were pretty lazy in this game, I would say. Because when you get to Haltman, he's basically just Susie 2.0.
Yeah. And
then when you fight Mecha Meta Knight again, I mean, aside from the whole arm gimmick, he's basically the same as the previous fight.
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt like they could have been a little more diverse, but when you get to True Arena in Meta Nightmare Returns Ultra or whatever, they throw in a bunch of other bosses that, in my opinion, makes up for it, but they're not a part of the main story.
Right. Yeah, again, like those bosses that they came back with and whatnot, those were pretty sick. In hindsight, yeah, I can see that they were pretty lazy with some of the bosses. I don't know, I guess, like, it kind of dampers Robobot down for me a little bit, I guess. But that's more so like if you're like you know, if you're a seasoned Kirby fan. If you're a newcomer, definitely Platinum Robobot would maybe surprise you with its bosses and whatnot. But they definitely went all out with the final boss. That's for sure.
Yes, final boss is one of my favorites for sure.
Felt like I was playing Star Fox. Especially with its first attack in True Arena, where it's like it sucks up all the meteors. Like, wow, you're totally pulling off an Andros move there. It's like, good job.
Right. I like that boss though because they smartly incorporated a Kirby gimmick in that you can inhale parts of the debris and shoot it back at them. I thought that was a really smart gimmick.
Yeah, it was very well implemented using both the shooter aspects and Kirby's natural ability to inhale things. Man, do you have to be so specific to complete that boss, though, to maintain your health in True Arena, though?
I believe it.
It was ridiculous. I want to go through it again, but at the same time, it's like a part of me is like, I don't want to go through the torture again. Oh, that final boss. Oh, man. But overall, yeah, we've given our thoughts about Robobot and Return to Dreamland and Triple Deluxe. If you've been on the fence about Robobot and are a fan of the Kirby series, what are you doing? Buy this game now.
Yeah, what the heck?
like you should already be playing this game. You should already be beating the True Arena right now. Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
But yeah. With that said, I think that's pretty much it here. Is there anything else you want to add?
No. That was a very good discussion.
All right. Well, thanks, Tucker. You could follow him on mchaosg. That's mchaosg on Twitter, and as well on the Puyo Nexus. That's where we play some hardcore Puyo play. Puyo. Kirby's Avalanche. What's happened?
We will destroy you, but not really.
We'll be kind at first, but if you want to have a taste, feel free to ask to be destroyed.
Yeah.
But yes, thanks, Tucker, for joining in the discussion.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, very much appreciated. And I'm Batman Richard. Have yourselves a good day.
Bye-bye.